was really interesting to hear some of the arguments around the voice. Wednesday, there will be the official announcement around the date of the voice. Was anyone... I'm really fascinated by this because Jana Pittman, I thought, was really honest in her... I don't know, I'm confused. I keep hearing different things. Right. But does anyone feel like they've had... Put your hand up, because that means I'll come to you. Does anyone feel like their mind has been changed or they've heard another perspective about any of that discussion tonight? Are you the most fixed people in the world? No, there's some people who say they have. Yep.
Like Jana Pittman said, you hear the no and the yes, and you think to yourself, well, hang on, there's another side to the story, because there's other people that we need to represent in Parliament as well.
And what did you think of that question? I thought it was really interesting about all the lobbyists and the others who do have very strong voices, and then the numbers that Danielle Wood was able to cite because she's done the research, and who does have a voice to the Parliament and the government.
Well, absolutely unfair, right? All the corporations get maximum, you know, I don't know, access to all the politicians. Little people don't.
Well, that's how it feels, I think, to people. I think sometimes they'd contest it. Was there a hand over here? Yeah, there was, wasn't there? I thought so. I'm like, did I imagine it? It is getting late. I'm going to do this tricky thing. No, I'm not. I'm going to actually just pass the microphone to you.
Yeah, it sort of solidified my opinion to vote yes. Like, just hearing the flurry of excuses from the coalition side. Oh, sorry, the no side. I don't know, there's so many sort of reasons that they're coming up with just out of the woodwork, whereas the yes vote side is just very simple. Just give people a voice.
Well, actually, Aaron was saying he does believe in a legislated voice, wasn't he? Yeah. And what did you make of the distinction between whether you put it in the Constitution or not?
I think I'm too stupid to know the difference. I don't.
One is the rule book of our country and is very hard to change. I think that's the best way to describe it. I saw some hands over here. Thank you very much for putting them back up, because I'm like, where did I see them? Yeah, on that question, do you feel like anyone changed your mind or there was a new perspective you heard?
Yeah, I think there was a new perspective in it. It's after reading the pamphlet, I was like, no, I'm going to vote no, but after that bringing up, I don't know anymore. Like whether
So you're saying you feel more confused now?
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused, but I'm siding more to yes now. Like it's very confusing.
Did you read the whole pamphlet?
Parts of it, not all of it. I read bits. Yeah, it is very long, but yeah, having other perspectives does help know about it. So yeah.
And have you been thinking about that too?
Yeah, I was really thinking about it. I was listening to what my mum said, and I was very confused. Me being 16, I'm not very politically knowledgeable. Neither are my friends say, and we're going up and going into those roles where we are having to vote. And I find, I think there should be more explanation to people who are younger, and so that they know what this actual vote and the voice consists of.
Yeah, I think... Oh, double dipping? I want to come back in.
I just wanted to point out, New Zealand has a voice for their Indigenous people.
They have dedicated seats in a treaty.
There you go. Why not do the same thing here? I mean, that's a good reason to do it.
There are a lot of countries who have different models, and I see a hand. Look, I don't mean to have favourites, but school students are my favourites. Mainly because I'm hoping that they can fix the whole system and I can have a lovely retirement.
Well, I hope to secure your retirement. You're 16, of course. I'm 18, so this makes me a first-year voter. Oh, wow. The referendum will be the first time that I vote, and it is also the day of HSC English Paper 1. Earlier in this year, in March, I was invited to the National Constitutional Convention, which is held every year for about 28 years, and this is the first year we've had a referendum to discuss. Obviously, I'm very privileged as an 18-year-old to have been in the heart of politics and discussed the voice to Parliament, and I have discovered that, you know, reading is hard. And I am a very strong supporter of the yes vote, and I really hope that everyone can, at the very least, read pamphlets, read, most importantly, the Uluru Statement from the Heart. It is absolutely beautiful. It comes from a place of humility. It comes from a place of truth. Like we said, there is voice, there is treaty, there is truth, and that is what is important to maintain in this country. And I think that's really important to young voters who are also stressed about English Paper 1.
Yeah, I was about to say, so you're passionate about it, but I imagine you're mainly focusing on your studies. Does that mean, are you kind of spending any time campaigning?
Well, I spent a lot of my time, I spent all but 3 days in Canberra. It was really cold, had to come back, and I think...
Defrost.
Defrost, absolutely. The blazer was not warm enough in Canberra. But I think as a high school student, I have definitely been talking to the kids in my class and beyond my friendship groups, beyond my school, about what the Voice to Parliament is, because it's nothing shameful to feel like you're confused. And I think that's important why everyone is here today, because you have questions, you get answers.
Yeah, of course. No, it is. And not everyone's across constitutional law, right? Like what, and why would they be unless they were constitutional lawyers or they had, you know, a really big investment. Look, the other big conversation I thought was interesting, and I'd love to hear again from some young people actually on this, was the first question that was asked about the soccer reckoning and these Spanish women who've just won this amazing game, and really, let's be honest, they were better than everyone. Like, we thought the British might win, and then we saw the Spanish, and have to deal with this horrible situation. When you look at something like that, and I'm looking at the young women very specifically, how do you view a moment like that and the way that... Yeah, and I'm going to pass it to you now because I've got quite short arms.
Okay. Well, overall, I was so stunned. I was like, as a female student myself, a lot of emotion is dedicated towards that. As women, we always we're strong about our opinions, and we want to make sure that all of us are safe as like a sisterhood. So yeah.
It was quite galling, wasn't it? And he's just been stood down. Wow. Does that mean he might come back? How alarming. Don't worry, we're going to walk very slowly. All right, final hands up. Are you giving me the look that you would like to speak to me? I can see that you have something to say. I don't know what it is, so that's even more exciting.
No, I think, as the panelist said earlier, we have this challenge that women or minority groups speak up, but the majority don't. In this case, men don't. And I think we need to see more people at the top, more leaders, regardless of gender, regardless of creed, really speak up and be as disgusted about this as people affected are, in this case women, in other case minorities.
Well, you seem to be speaking up. Did it make you upset?
It definitely did.
Why?
Because I will discuss it again briefly on the panel. The idea that somebody at the top of their game, this isn't a junior, this isn't someone in the shadows, this is someone representing the very sport that we were celebrating women for achieving and for winning, doing this. They should know better, and they should be beyond reproach. And we think back to things like Barry O'Farrell with the bottle of wine and made to stand down. If I get a bottle of wine, I might get, poured over the coals with the boss, but I don't need to be beyond reproach because I'm not leading a country, or in this case, leading football.
Interesting point about consequence, even though they're very different cases, which we all acknowledge. Just want to make that clear, but about consequence. Look, I want to thank you all for coming out on a Monday night. Still, we're in winter, aren't we? No, we've changed. Yeah, we're in winter. Something happened. Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. Come again if you so want to. We come and do Q&A here every couple of weeks. Loved having you all here. Thank you so much. See ya.